So before we get into who brings you this Elk Talk Live, make sure and go to bowtecharchery.com and sign up for the new bow. There's a big banner ad on the top of the page and one on the bottom. Sign up, get yourself a new bow from Bowtech. And that's one of the companies that make this possible, along with Leupold, along with Onyx Maps, Tightspot Quivers, Ripcord Arrow Rest, Black Gold Sights, GoHunt.com, and Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. And every week, Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, go to buglingbull.com to find them. They draw somebody who asks a question, and they send them a Black Magic diaphragm call. And if you want to save some money from some of these sponsors, on X, use promo code Randy and get 20% off their apps. Go Hunt, use promo code Randy and get $50 of mad money, like cash, yeah, green stuff, to use in their gear shop. Yeah, there you go, like gear shop goodies. So, I'm not getting anything here on Facebook. You get?
Yeah, I don't see it on Facebook. It's on live stream, but I don't see it.
What's the deal? Don't tell me we got another malfunction here. I'm gonna have to. 3 weeks ago, I had to call our technology guy and say, you know what? But he said that he might have scheduled it a minute late. So, all right, let's see what. No, that's not me. That's me wearing some other clothes. Welcome everybody about 2 minutes past. All right, let's see if it works. Oh, look at that. Is that me? I'm on the Black Gold page.
Oh, really?
What's the deal?
You're not on Bowtech or Leupold.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, we're on Black Gold.
Not showing up on my Facebook page. Huh. That's not good. What's the problem here? Uh-oh. Oh, what do we got there? Oh, no, that's a different video. Well, folks, I might have BS you when I said that we had made it through all the technology challenges. Are you seeing any questions on the live stream, Marcus? I'm not. It says we're live, but I'm not.
We're live.
We're live on live
Someone
stream.
did ask if there's any specific cow archery hunting tips in the early rut.
Any specific cow archery hunting tips in the rut? Find the food. How many times have you heard me say that, right? Marcus did a video, a turkey hunting video in Nebraska, and he said, "Hi, Randy Newberg here. I'm going to tell you how to find turkeys in the rut. First, you got to find the hen turkeys. And when you find the hen turkeys, you're going to find them, you're going to find food. And when you find the food and you find the hens, you're going to find the toms." I think he was making fun of the fact that the advice I always give about elk hunting for cow elk is find the food and find the food and find the food, and you'll be fine if you find the food. Find the food and you'll be fine. There you go. Well, we're not getting anything going here on our Facebook page, so I might just have to ramble on for a half hour. And
Got some coming out on live stream.
are you? Can you send them over to me on?
On Google Docs.
Oh, they are? Oh, well, there we go. Marcus is sending me questions, and I'm not even paying attention. Ever used the Rocky Mountain elk call of a type of call that isn't a diaphragm call? I've not. I prefer diaphragm calls to everything. They make the split reed calls, the open reed calls. I'm just not real good at using them. So I stick to the diaphragm calls. Dang it, I forgot to bring mine in here. It's out in my car. Rats. Anyhow, next week I'll try to remember to bring mine in here and show you what it looks like. Let's see. Some people are now commenting, saying something. All right. Nope, that's not me. That's last week's video. A lot of people are chiming into last week's video saying, Randy, you're not here. Oh, this is frustrating. But anyhow, we're just going to go through all the questions. What type of quiver do you have and how do I like it? I have a Tightspot. quiver. And the Tightspot quiver, it's adjustable where you can line it up really close to your riser. I do that with the whatever clearance I can get by with, because you don't want a quiver that sits way out here. It's going to create torque on your bow, right? And then sometimes, depending on how long your arrows are and where your fletchings are, you might have to cant that slightly forward just to clear the cams and the axles down at the bottom. So for me, I keep my tight spot as tight as I can. There, you get the name, right? Tight spot quiver. And I cant mine slightly forward, and I'm just trying to use it almost like a little bit of stabilizer. Works great for me. I just beat the tar out of them. I mean, if they send something with me, it's going to get a workout. All right, here's a question. What do you think of the over-the-counter Arizona tags? If you're talking about the over-the-counter Arizona elk tags, which there are just a few of them, very, very few units, don't waste your money. But if you're talking the over-the-counter archery deer tags, I go do it every year. And I suggest you do the same thing, because in that archery season, it's sometimes in December, sometimes in January. It depends on the northern units, it's more December. The southern units, it's more January. You can go and hunt really, really good units over the counter with your bow. You don't have to draw. Just go get your over the counter. They call it a non-permit deer tag. I love it. I'm going to go do it until they plant me in the ground. Let's see. I am greatly considering the CDS, which is custom dial system made by Leupold. What's your thought on longer range shots over 300 yards? It'll work for that. I typically hunt between 4,000 and 12,000 feet elevation in Colorado, and whether an elevation past 300 can affect the point of impact. Yes, it surely can. So you just need to understand how that works. You'll be able, when you order your dial, you'll be able to say, I want my 0 to be at 100 or 200. You can give them all the atmospheric conditions, the elevation. There's all kinds of things that you give them. But understand that if you give them a dial and they etch it for 8,000 feet and you're at 12, there are going to be some differences, and you want to know what those differences are. Flip side, if it's etched for 8,000 feet elevation and you go to sea level, there's going to be some differences. So just make sure you know what the differences are when there are different atmospheric conditions or altitude conditions from what you've had them at your dial for. Well, we still are not getting the new one. I haven't got a message from Tim yet. Tim is our technology guy, so we blame everything on him. Oh, wait, I just got a text from him. Now I got a text from somebody else. Hey, yo, Tim. I'm going to call him. This is going to be funny. Hey, Tim, you're on TV. He's going to say, yeah, I know, I'm trying to fix it. Houston, we have a problem. We'll see if he answers. We got more questions, Marcus?
I've been putting on the Google Docs.
How's the new truck working? It is working great. This is Tim. Please leave me a message. That tells me he's out of coverage. It looks like we're out of luck with Facebook this week. So it's going to be live streamed, and then it's going to go to our YouTube channel tomorrow. Black, gold, and Tightspot. So how's the new truck working? A lot of you know that I just got a new Nissan Titan Pro 4X, and it's the 6th Titan now that I bought the first 5. Nissan sent me this one, and it works great. We're getting it tooled up. Dan and I went and shot a video the other day about, and we're going to be asking you people, what do you want for tires, or what would you put for tires, because I'm swapping out the tires. I ordered a new topper from ARE. I got the new worn winch. Now I just need the ARB bumper, and we're going to be set to go. Someone says, need a tech guy? Yeah, we do. You're hired, whoever that was. Any word on the season 6 episodes on Amazon? Come on, one went live this week. Come on, go out there and you'll see it. The downside of that episode 2 of season 6 is the technology expert Matthew put the wrong header on there. He said I think he says it's an Arizona elk hunt. It's really a Wyoming elk hunt. And So he fixed that, but it might take a day or two for that to get through to YouTube or Amazon. Is Montana an easy state to draw tags? It can be. There were 800 leftover elk-only non-resident tags this year. So they go on sale next Monday morning at 5 a.m. Mountain Time. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, Monday, which is May 7th, I believe. So, yeah, if you're just looking for the general elk tag, it's easy to draw. You would have had a 100% chance of drawing this year on the elk only. Now, if you want the deer only or the elk deer combo tag, that's a different story. So, dressing a deer, should I remove the scent glands or is it an old wives' tale? I don't know. I remove them. So, it might be an old wives' tale, but I don't have any way to verify it any differently because I get rid of them. So, anything on Facebook yet, Marcus? I'm not getting anything there.
No, that's on black gold.
Just on black gold, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's not what we wanted, because I told all of our people that, hey, guess what? We got Elk Talk Live going tonight. All right. What is the best place to hunt elk? Where the elk are. I know someone's going to say, you smart aleck. It depends. I mean, it depends on if you want to hunt cows or bulls. It depends on if you're looking for archery hunting or rifle hunting. It's a really vague question, and it would take forever and a day to answer it. So,
We just went live onto your page.
oh, we just went live on Facebook now?
Onto your page, yeah.
On my page on Facebook. Let's see. Oh, there we are. Hey, folks, apologies, all you out there on Facebook land. We've been at this now for 12 minutes, and it just now hit our Facebook page. So, yeah, thanks. Craig just said, hey, Facebook just started. Yep, that's what happened. So, I appreciate it. Wish that wasn't the case, but sometimes when you're dealing with the technology world of Al Gore's internet or Mark Zuckerberg's platforms, that's just how it happens sometimes. So, someone says you can't be doing this while the Utah Jazz are playing. The what? I watch hockey. Tonight, the Las Vegas Golden Knights are playing the San Jose Sharks. Now that is worth watching. Basketball, maybe. I don't know. I don't follow basketball much, but maybe it is. What's up from South Texas? I don't know, Orlando. What's up here is we just got through the technology firewall. Mike Mulligan gives me the thumbs up. Thanks, Mike. Nice to know. Dave, sorry, go Hawks. No, that doesn't work here. There, Garrick says go Golden Knights. See, now we already have a good conversation going here. We're talking about hockey. We're talking about the Golden Knights. All right. What is the difference between a general tag and a permit in Montana? And we went over this it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago even, when we talked about the Montana draw system. Montana, everybody has to clear the hurdle of getting their general tag, resident or non-resident. Residents, we go by our general elk tag over the counter. Non-residents, you have to draw it in the Montana draw. And then once you clear the general tag hurdle, then you have that in your hand, you're allowed to apply for the limited entry permits. So there's 2 different versions. In Montana, you might have a general tag, and that's all you end up with. Or you can take your general tag and say, now that I have that, put me in the draw for the limited entry permits, and maybe you draw one which converts your general tag in, kind of is an add-on to your general tag that, oh, now you can go hunt that limited entry unit. So for tires, I'd look at BF Goodrich all-terrains. Thank you. I'm thinking about that. They're definitely on the list. I've had Coopers for a long time, in fact, for about 20 years, and never had a problem with them. I'm looking for something that isn't noisy. And a lot of the BF Goodriches that I've seen, that I've ridden in trucks, they're really noisy because I'm going to put on 25,000 miles driving around this year. From here to New Mexico, here to Arizona, here to Colorado, here to wherever. And a lot of those are highway miles, and I don't want to get a super aggressive tire that's really noisy and in the process, all those highway miles burn it up. So I'm kind of looking for a unique thing. Maybe I'm looking for the tire that doesn't really exist. Oh, how's the hunt you're going to raffle? How is that coming along? It's not coming along very well for two reasons. I think Bowtech is going to have a hunt, but I don't know that I'm going to be in there for two reasons. There's some question about what constitutes guiding in Colorado, and I'm not a licensed guide, so some people would be concerned that if you joined me and we paid all your expenses, that somehow there's a guiding arrangement there. I don't quite get it, but that's one concern. The other concern also is, now that I drew a New Mexico elk tag, the only window of opportunity to do that hunt would have been really early in the season, like whenever it opens in August. So I just told Bowtech, I don't want to force somebody into this really tight window of time. So they're gonna, I think they're still working on the details, but we're gonna know more about it shortly. I think they're gonna have a hunt that you can go sign up, just do the same thing, but I'm probably not gonna be the person who's there helping on the hunt. So, let's see, I live in Arizona. What other western states have great youth opportunities for kids for elk, deer, antelope? Anything would be a trophy. What are the best states and areas? We never get into units and areas. We'll talk about states, but out of respect for other hunters who apply or other hunters who draw the tag, we don't get into exact units. So I would say look to your neighbor, New Mexico. They have some of the best deer, elk, and even some really good youth antelope hunts. Arizona is really where it's at, though, for building points for youth. All of you, the upcoming, I think it's June 12th, is the upcoming deadline for Arizona deer and Arizona sheep. So Arizona goes on a calendar year for the license, and the youth license is very inexpensive. So if you're a non-resident youth, or you have a non-resident youth in your house, buy them a license now so they can apply for the deer and sheep and build a point there. And that license is good for a year. So you can use that same license to apply them for the elk and the antelope next February of 19. So you get a full year of applications out of that license. And the good part is the tags for non-resident youth are really inexpensive. And even if they don't draw, by the time they get out of the youth phase and they're now an adult, they've got a lot of points to someday go to Arizona and hunt. So it's the best deal going that I know of. So let's see. This one, how do you identify a bull's nest on X? We've been over that a lot of times. We have a series of videos out there called e-scouting, and we're getting ready to do a bunch more. The general rule is a bull's nest or a sanctuary is if you look at it and say, I don't really want to go there, or other hunters don't want to go there, the odds are you've found a sanctuary. So, you hunting spring bear this year? I am going to Alaska. Me and Marcus and our buddy Mike, we're going to go there. And then the crew here is going to be filming each other doing spring bear hunting in Montana. I'm going to try to get out with them, but the odds of me being able to do it very much is slim because I'm on the road doing way too many things, unfortunately, this May. I need to get off the road. I'm on the road way too much. So Dennis just asked, Randy, you planning on doing a more in-depth e-scouting series with OnX? Yes, we are. We're already penciling that out. Dan, you and I have already been working on the script for it. Those are going to start going out hopefully in late June, July, and August. So someone said they just got moisture in northern Arizona in the form of snow. I don't care whether it's snow, whether it's rain, whatever. I'm just glad to hear you guys are getting some moisture. Man, there's a lot of them coming in now that we're on Facebook. What we have here is Marcus has a Google Doc over there that he's copying and pasting a lot of your questions, and I'm trying to read them, and hopefully it makes sense. If budget limited you to 2 binoculars, would you do 8 and a 12, an 8 and 15, 10 and 12, or 10s and 15s? It's a good question. I wouldn't do 12. I do either 8 and 15s or 10 and 15s for all the different types of hunting I do. I have a bit of a tremor, so a 10 power binocular, sometimes when my tremor is flaring up, it can it creates quite a bit of shake. My 15s, I never go without them on a tripod. You'll see lately, even my 8s and 10s, I put them on a tripod. And I might have my spotting scope this direction, and I just lean on it like this. And it's amazing how much steadier you are, how much slower you'll be, how it forces you to just methodically grid everything. And you just look around your viewfinder, and it's just really, really helpful. Even if you don't have them on the tripod themselves, having a solid object, big help. So I'd go with an 8 and a 15 or a 10 and 15. How'd the camera guy's turkey hunt go, Marcus?
Great.
4 turkeys in what, 2 days or 3 days?
3 days.
3 days, they shot 4 turkeys. That's because I wasn't there. I'm the worst turkey hunter in America. Guaranteed. And if you need me to prove that, one of these years I will go along and prove that. Let's see. I just purchased a rifle. It's a 30-06 for my first elk hunt. What bullet, brand, and grain would you recommend? I will not shoot more than 300 yards. Get the best quality bullet you can. I shoot Nosler trophy grade ammo, and in my 30 calibers, if I was going to a 30-06, I'd probably jump up to the 180 grain partition or the 180 grain Accubon. In my 308, I shoot 165 grain partitions. So that the Nosler Accubon or the Nosler partition, you're going to do great, absolutely great. You'll have a hard time finding a better constructed bullet than that. Let's see. I have 10 points saved and I apply in a unit that you can draw with only 5 points. Do I lose all 10 of my points or just 5? You lose them all. Colorado experimented with that for a year or two. They called it point banking, and it was a resounding dud. Nobody really liked that idea. So they got rid of it, and I'm glad they did. Boy, there's a ton of them popping up here on Facebook. So, bunch of OnX questions. So one person asks, do you use OnX to select where your base camp will be? Yes, I do. I use OnX for a lot of things. My desk scouting, obviously when we're out there in the field, I have it on my app, right here on this thing. And then I still, at times, I'm old school and I was lazy and I still have some waypoints on my old GPS. Occasionally you'll see me use that, but I'm now an app guy. And remember, if you buy the OnX app products, use promo code Randy and they're going to give you 20% off. But anyhow, as far as where my base camp is located, this is something we're going to talk about in our series of e-scouting videos we're going to do with OnX this summer. Is I look for a place where from this base camp, within a half hour, whether it's a half hour hiking or a half hour of driving my vehicle and then some hiking, maybe an hour. Half hour is better, but maybe it's an hour. I want to have at least 3 different places I can go to. And in each of those places, there's got to be anywhere from 2 to 4 locations in that basin or that drainage or on that ridge or that mountain range that I want to hunt for that day. So my base camps are selected somewhat strategically. If you ever looked at my maps, you'll see they're kind of located in a centralized area that gives me access to these places that I decided in my e-scouting. All right, this drainage looks good. I'm going to be able to get in there, hike in there within 45, 60 minutes. And from here, I can also hike there if the first place doesn't work out. And on the third day, if I want to go here, it's all about being efficient in my time. If I'm way over here and I've got one spot there, but the other 2 are way over here, I'm going to be burning a lot of time. And that's one part of elk hunting. You only have so much vacation time. You only have so many days in the season. You only have so many weekends to hunt. You got to do what you can to be efficient in your time. And so the selection of my base camp for elk hunting is very much driven by what makes me the most efficient. So, all right, this question gets asked all the time. Where we hunt doesn't have service, so cell phones don't work. Andrew's asking this. No, Andrew, your cell phone GPS works without service. And so what you do is you go in and you put your phone on airplane mode, right there. Now I'm on airplane mode, and on your computer or on your phone, you go offline on your OnX app, and this is all on their website. And we've talked about this quite a few times, but it's a popular misconception, which is why I continue to bring it up, is, I'm trying to find where my app is here. I can't find it. But anyhow, you go off, oh, there it is, offline. And so you see right there, these maps. So right here, you say off grid is what they call it. And I don't know if, can you see that, Dan? That red box that says, I think it says add new map. We're gonna try zoom the camera into that so you can see it. But that red box right there says, it's out of focus. I don't know. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, you see that red box right there? That is save new map. So you save your map to the phone, and then when you're in airplane mode, because your GPS on a smartphone works whether you are in service or not, now you've got your map saved on your phone, your GPS is working, and you're off and running. So I know that's a long-winded explanation, but a lot of people have that misconception. So I want to make sure that people know that's one of the beauties of having that system. And then you get the aerial map, you get the topo map, or you get the hybrid map. You use a handheld GPS, you aren't getting aerial maps. You aren't getting a hybrid map. So you get a lot more layers and a lot more information by going with the app product. Robert says, be sure to load your maps up while you're on a Wi-Fi system before heading out. Yes, that is for sure. Let's see. Man, now that we're up and running, this is good. If I draw my second choice in Colorado, will I still get a point for that year? Yes, you will. Colorado, I believe, is one of the states you only lose your points if you draw your first choice. How many various hunts do you go on a year? Oh man, me and the crew, we were just sitting around this afternoon trying to figure that out. I bet you between hunts I have and hunts I go on with guest hunters, I'm probably pushing 12 to 14 hunts a year. It just depends. Like this year we've got some that are really long hunts, so I might do fewer hunts this year, but the number of days will be about the same. Someone wants to see me come and hunt Roosevelt's in Oregon. I want to come and do that also, and I think the Born and Raised guys, Trent and Trevor and Kendall and those guys, or Cody, I mean, they're offering to help me. So I don't think I could have better help than the Born and Raised outdoor guys. So let's see. What kind of watch am I wearing? Sunto. They sent it to me. Been working great. Uh-oh, what did I do there? We are having all kinds of technology issues today. What kind of grizzly presence is there in eastern and southeast Idaho these days? In eastern Idaho, right up against the Idaho border, the Wyoming-Montana border, there's definitely grizzlies there. Some of the further away you get from that border, the less you got to worry about it. So, but I would definitely be dialed in if I'm anywhere near grizzly country. Keep a clean camp, know what the grizzly protocols are, and make sure that you're following those. Someone, Philip says, drew a rifle elk tag for central Montana, plan to take a week of vacation in the summer just to scout. Okay, that's flying by so fast. What time of summer would you recommend to go? If you're going to hunt the rifle season, which this year opens October 20th, your scouting in the summer is gonna have limited benefit for an October hunt. Because if you drew in one of the mountain ranges in central Montana, they're going to be doing something different in July than what they're doing in October or November, because the season runs late October into November. So you're going to learn the roads, you're going to learn the trailheads, you're going to learn the parking situation, the camp situation. But as far as what the elk are doing, there's a very good chance what you see them doing in July, they're going to be doing something completely different when you get out there in October. So I know this might sound bad, but I tell people, don't come scout in July. If you can, save that week and come 3 or 4 days early before your season opens, because that scouting information is way more relevant to what you need to know while you're on the ground. What are the elk doing? What places are they using? What habits are they in? Where's the feed? Has the drought dried up the water sources? There's all kinds of information that the closer you get to your hunt date, the more relevant and useful it is. So that might not be possible, but that's the idea. Karen asks, any trouble with traffickers on the Arizona border when you hunt? Nope, never had a problem yet. Hope we never do. I'll be honest with you, the thought doesn't even enter my mind. Maybe it should, but it doesn't. When will we see more of the Jerry Pritchard elk hunt that's on your YouTube channel? Jazz, every day we're adding a new one. Today was the first, so yesterday is first day, which was scouting. Today was first day of hunting, and then every day from here on out, you're gonna get to see the rest of it. So thanks for asking. On the OnX app, when you save your maps, do you save the 5 mile, the 10 mile, the 150 mile option, and why? I usually save the 10 mile option. It's the best, I guess, intersection of detail, but yet, so I don't want to have to be swapping maps and have all kinds of maps because they're really small but highly detailed. I'd rather have something that's maybe slightly less detailed, but still the 10 mile map. That's the sweet spot I've found that works for me. So you'll see when you go to download it and when you go off grid, there are the 3 options that you mentioned here, and I've found that the 10 mile works best for what I do. Do you have an SOS button on your backcountry hunts, and what would you suggest for this? Yes, I do. I bought an InReach last year, and that's the only one I really know about. And I'll be honest with you, it's been sitting there now. We brought it with us, and I'm counting on the camera crew to know how to run it. They're more tech savvy than I am, so I'm gonna have to get working on it this summer and have a better feel for how it gets used. But that's the one I've been using. Okay. Oh my goodness, I am not gonna get to all these. Oh, Jeff says he applied for the Wisconsin elk tag. I wonder when the Wisconsin elk tag comes out. So what are my thoughts about hunting in dark timber? Still hunting in dark timber if you have snow, I think it's a good idea. If you go to the podcast I did with Todd Orr, I think that was released 2 weeks ago. Todd he's strictly a handgun hunter, and he still hunts with snow in the dark timber, and he's had amazing success. For me and with camera guys and everything else that we do, it's super hard for 4 of us to be still hunting. It just, me and a guest hunter or me and 2 camera guys, you're wasting your time doing what we do, trying to still hunt them. So, Scott Johnson, are you going to load season 1 on Amazon or any of the On Your Own Adventures episodes? Right now, I don't know. We're working on trying to get season 6 up there. So once we get all those up there and we get them all approved, which is often the holdup, maybe we will. But right now, I don't know for sure on that one. Thanks, Steve. Steve says, I hope you never need an SOS button. Oh man, I hope the same thing. I don't want that. Get this question all the time. I don't know how many times we've answered it. Probably just about every episode. How many years after a burn do you hunt it? I hunt it until a newer burn shows up. So if it's the newest burn and it's 12 years old, I'm still hunting it when it's 12 years old. If it's 12 years old, but there's a 3-year-old burn, the odds are I'm going to the 3-year-old burn. Does OnX work on Texas public lands? Yes, it does, Stacy. especially in a state where I don't know what percent private Texas is, but I suspect it's probably a very high percent, in the 95-ish percent. But onX will tell you everything you need to know. So, got a bunch of questions here, and I'm trying to scan through them, but there's a lot of them that continue to talk about scouting. And in the last episode that we did, what would that have been, episode 42 of Elk Talk Live, we went into scouting based on the premise of how we have the 5 seasons and the 4 needs. Well, I'm not going to get into that today. I want to talk about how I do a lot of scouting that is based strictly on what I anticipate for hunting pressure. Because hunting pressure is something in most instances you're going to have to deal with on public land bull elk hunts. You look at states like Montana, we got over-the-counter resident hunting, Wyoming over-the-counter resident hunting, Colorado over-the-counter resident, non-resident hunting, Idaho over-the-counter hunting. So you're going to have a lot of elk hunting pressure on these public land hunts. You can't get rid of it unless you draw one of the really limited entry tags, which is very rare. So how do you deal with it? So for me, a big part of my planning and my scouting, when I'm sitting at my desk, I'm looking at this saying, all right, what looks like the easiest place? What looks like the place that people are going to be attracted to? Those are places I almost cross off my map. Because if 80% of the people are going to be there, it's usually pretty concentrated areas where the 80% are. I want to go where the other 20% are, or at least are dispersed. So I can use that hunting pressure, and I'll know it just by talking to people. I'll know it by looking at my maps, my onX. I'll know it from a multitude of things. There's going to be a lot of hunting pressure there. There's a campground there. Developed campgrounds, I stay away from them unless I want to drive a long ways. So with that, right there crosses a huge part off my map for my scouting. So if the map is a square, right, I'm looking at how do I eliminate ground? You know, one of my friends is a really famous decoy carver. And I said, how do you carve a duck? He said, I get rid of anything that doesn't look like a duck. And when I'm done, here's a duck. Well, that's kind of how I do it with my scouting from my map. It's like, no, that doesn't, no. So by the time I'm done, I'm down to these little areas. And those are the areas that I use to start developing my scouting plan. And my scouting plan starts like right now, I drew a New Mexico elk tag. It's an early archery tag. So my scouting for that, all right, early September, what am I going to be looking for? I'm going to be looking for water because it's New Mexico. It's always dry there. Okay, I'm going to be looking for where are the cows going to find the best feed. So where are some open areas that are going to have grasses that grow in the monsoon season? Right there eliminates big chunks of my map. All right, where are the places where everyone else is going to go? Okay, there's a campground there. Okay, easy to get there, there's roads. Even in archery season, even though the elk are moving a lot more and they're not quite as averse to a road or a trail, they still, if all things being equal, they'd rather go do their rutting away from a road or a trail. And for the quality of experience that I'm looking for, I still hike away from roads and trails. So I'm going to find those places that, okay, my map is this big. Right now, I would bet you I've eliminated 2/3 of my map already, and I've only been planning this hunt for about a week, maybe 10 days. When did New Mexico results come out? Anyhow, so I haven't had much time to plan, but already I've eliminated 2/3 of the territory in that unit. By the time it comes to be September 1st, when that season starts, my map is going to be really small. I'm probably going to have 95% of that map eliminated by that time. So I do that because hunting pressure is the primary thing that causes me to use the scouting techniques that I do. Even in archery season, right? You go out and it's not light yet and you're listening or you're bugling. I want to know that I'm far enough from roads and trails that if I hear a response, the odds are that's probably an elk, not a hunter. Even though anymore it's pretty easy to tell whether it's a hunter or a bull. But you think about how this hunting pressure affects you. And so, all right, I get to where now I'm down to 5% of my map remaining, right? Those places that are remaining, there's going to be a few spots. They're not going to be, it's not going to just be one blob of that 5%. It's going to be some over here, some there, some there. All right. There's going to be some places that probably with the weekend pressure of Saturday and Sunday are going to be less useful. So I'm going to say, all right, a lot of hunting pressure Saturday and Sunday. Which one of these places is probably best for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after the hunting pressure has moved elk around more? All right. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the hunting pressure's been less because it's farther away from the weekend. Now maybe there's some other spots that on Thursday and Friday, as the elk are getting more relaxed because the pressure is reduced, all right, maybe those are spots better on Thursday and Friday. So all of this is, it's not a science. It's just kind of trying to think through, trying to anticipate what other hunters are going to do, how that affects your strategy. Because when you get there, this is probably the most important part about scouting, e-scouting, is that is a process of building a plan. And when you get there, you have to have a plan, and you got to stick to the plan, and you got to work the plan. You can't, if you show up without a plan, you're going to give up after the first day and a half. Oh man, it's too hot. Oh, it's full moon. Oh, there's too many hunters. Oh, it's whatever. No, you have to have a plan for whatever might arise, and you have to keep working that plan. You didn't come up with this idea, this plan, by happenstance. You use good information, you've used a lot of research, you've talked to a lot of people, you've done a lot of reading and studying. This plan you built has value. Don't just throw it away because the first day or two things didn't go well. And if you keep doing that over time, you're going to find out that you have more confidence because of that plan. And the more confident you are, the more likely that you're going to have success. So that's one of the pieces of scouting that we're going to get into with the OnX series this year. I hope that when we're all done, people are like, oh yeah, I got something out of that. Or they might just say, Newberg, you're a blowhard. These guys would probably say, oh, there's a lot of truth to that. Holy cow. Marcus we're now on page 8 of questions here that Marcus has thrown in here. My 7-year-old daughter wants to know how you know all this stuff. Well, your 7-year-old daughter is 46 years younger than me, and she's probably not made nearly the number of mistakes I've made out hunting. If there's one benefit about doing what I do, I get to go on anywhere from 5 to 8 elk hunts a year. Some early, some late, some in the northern Rockies, some in the southern deserts, some archery, some rifle. I get to see the whole thing, and that means I get to make that many more mistakes and that many more conditions. And I often say that success is nothing more than a series of failures. It's the culmination of many, many failures. And so for me, that's, I don't know, I'm way below average at everything. The only benefit I have is, 1, I don't give up easy, and 2, I try not to make the same mistake twice, but I still manage to do that quite often. Hey, someone was watching the Hank Shaw video. They're giving me grief about my McCormick's taco seasoning. Delete that person, Marcus. That's not fair. Hey, I grew up in northern Minnesota, all right? McCormick's was considered high quality taco seasoning. So, all right, if I had to choose between the Sitka Timberline and the Sitka Ascent Pant, which would be more versatile and durable option? It depends on what you hunt, what time of year you hunt. I get way more use out of my Timberline pants. I'm using my Timberline pants from about October 1st until the end of season. And then if it gets really cold, I just layer up. Kind of an in-between there is their mountain pant. So the Ascent pant is a very lightweight pant. I mean, it dries really, really fast, which is great, but it's not going to provide any insulation value to speak of. If you're going to use it for anything other than early archery season, that's the window of time you're going to get value out of that Ascent pant. I love mine and when I use them, but I get more use out of my Timberlines. Do you ever keep elk heart like some people love deer hearts? Oh yeah. Did we eat your elk heart in Wyoming, Marcus?
Yep.
Yeah. When Marcus shot the one, we ate the tongue and we ate the heart. I just was digging through the freezer. I found some moose heart from my son's moose hunt last year. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that might skip through my fingers, but if there's a heart there and I help somebody field dress their animal and they say, you want some of this? I'm like, can I have that heart? I love it's, I mean, what it is it's just a muscle, and I don't know why, it's just something I love. So what's the one hunt I'm looking forward to this year? I'll have to come back to that question. That's a tough one. Boy, people ask me that all the time, and I'd say whatever hunt I have is the one that I'm looking forward to. Johnny asked, does McCormick's taco seasoning work well in tag soup? Works fantastic, trust me. I've had lots of tag soup in my life. How do you get to the heart when you do the gutless method? Well, what you do is you take your Gerber Premium, and you can with the brisket right here, there's a lot of cartilage. With a really good knife, you can take that. So let's say the ribs come down here. If you can separate a rib from the sternum right there, you can just lift it open and get to the heart that way. I know some people who take a rock and they smash a rib and they just pull it out. It's all you got to do is get access to the heart, right somewhere right here where the sternum and the ribs meet. So in the gutless method, they're laying on their side, right? When you're on one side or the other, just somehow get to that cavity, open it up, and there's the heart. Good food. So again, remember, go to bowtacharchery.com and sign up for the new bow. There's the big banner at the bottom and at the top of the page. Doesn't cost anything, and you could be the person who wins the new bow. And if you do, also sign up for all these notifications for our stuff, because this is brought to you by Bowtech, by Leupold, by Onyx, by Go Hunt, by Tightspot, by Ripcord, by Black Gold, and Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. And we are so grateful that they make this possible, because without them, this, hey, wait a second. Kenneth, you're saying that I don't trap. You're wrong. You're crazy. Kenneth, you got to go look out at my YouTube channel. Marcus and I ate a whole bunch of muskrats we caught last year. Man, that's how I paid for college. That's borderline offensive for someone to say that I don't do that. I'll get over it, though. Did you draw a Wyoming elk tag? No, I didn't, Terry. Neither did Marcus, neither did Michael, but my son and my uncle did. So, let's see. Boy, there's a whole bunch of them. What does heart taste like? Tastes really good. Oh, great. The people upstairs cleaning. Okay, I wonder if they can hear the audio. There's a vacuum cleaner going in the office building, the suite above us. So, let's see. How do I determine if I'm going to have a base camp or if I'm going to camp out and do a spike camp? It depends on a lot of things. It depends on the time of year, depends on how many tags we have, depends on the accessibility to the areas that I've found on my map are the places I want to hunt. For us, we probably anymore, because of the complicated logistics of all of our cameras, our batteries, backing up footage, dumping media cards and formatting them, all that kind of stuff, we end up with more base camps than we used to. We used to use probably more spike camps or backcountry camps. Now we've just had to move away from that because of how much stuff we have going on and what it takes for us to get everything done in an evening. Because most people think that we go out in the morning, we film a little bit, we hunt, and we come back to camp, we eat a meal, and we go to bed. No, these guys, they probably spend anywhere from 1 to 2 extra hours every night charging batteries, cleaning cameras, changing batteries in all the mics, getting everything ready for the next day, taking the media cards, backing them up into at least a redundant or a second redundancy. They got so many things they got to do. And that's why a lot of people have asked, well, why do you always cook for your crew? Well, cooking is the easy part. They're doing other stuff. They're working their butts off after we get back to camp. So that's why we end up doing it the way we do. So Jeremy asks, what kind of Sitka layering system do you use for the early season, and what system do you use for the late cold weather hunts? Late cold weather is easy. You're always going to see me in my Jetstream jacket and my Timberline pants, and then I build layers from there. Usually my first layer is merino, and then on top of that, whatever I need for loft and insulation. Early season, you're going to see me with probably just a merino and a pair of Ascent pants when I'm moving, running, and gunning. And I'll usually carry a puffy or something in my coat, some DWR layer, outer layer in case it starts raining. But in the early season, I'm not layered up a lot. I'm mostly worried about getting that perspiration away from me. Let's see. Ken asks, is my sweepstakes hunt still on? Ken, it was never on for sure, and it's sounding a lot less like it's going to be on. Uh-oh. Hey, everyone's saying they can't hear. Did we lose our audio?
They're saying they can't hear the vacuum.
Oh, they can't hear the vacuum.
Yeah, when
Oh,
that was
I just about panicked. I'm like, oh no, they got me mic'd up with this thing, folks. I thought maybe my batteries died. I'm like, oh man. All right. So, let's see. Whew. Just about a false alarm there. All right, how can a newbie tell if it's an elk hunter calling or if it's an elk calling? Listen to a lot of elk hunters. You'll quickly determine. A hunter, usually, not always, there's some really good callers out there, but if it sounds more plasticky and tinny sounding, like really high, like someone blew in a really short tube, the odds are it's probably a hunter. If you don't feel vibration and just like, whoa, man, the woods is really rocking, you might want to listen really, really close to that because there's a chance it might be a hunter. So someone wants to know what's wrong with my liver. I remember in one of your videos you said something about it. I usually don't go into a lot of detail other than I have a rare liver condition. So if ever I look all swollen and puffy and goofy looking, hopefully you'll cut me some slack. But long story behind that. Someday maybe I'll get into it. Randy, have you ever thought about writing a book on hunting elk? I've been asked a couple times, but I just don't have time. So this is kind of my version of a book right here. So every Wednesday night, I add a chapter to the book, and some of it's redundant, but hopefully if you stick around and listen to it, there's some of it that is worthwhile. Owen wants to know, what's the cost of hiring a helicopter to access remote landlocked areas? It depends on airtime. They charge you by the hour of airtime, so it just depends. What we've done, we've used them 5 times, and we fly from the closest piece of land we can to wherever that landlocked piece is, so our shuttles are really low, and we split it among multiple people. In most instances, if we split it among 3 or 4 guys, it's about $600 to $800 per person, depending on how many elk you got to fly out. So a lot of people think it's a $10,000 bill. If you plan it right, no, it's not a $10,000 bill. Let's see. Chip says, oh, your liver makes you goofier than normal? I set myself up for that one, didn't I? Here's one. On average, how far do you comfortably go in for your spike camp in order to get everything back out? Now that we're using llamas a lot, that answer is probably 7 to 10 miles. Before we had llamas, it was probably 2 to 3 miles, just because we are carrying so much production gear. People who come with us are like, really? You guys carry all this stuff? Yeah, we do. And Marcus and whoever's Dan or Michael are the second camera guys. Everyone's carrying big tripods. They're carrying big cameras, spare batteries for the audio, spare batteries for the cameras. They're carrying DSLRs or mirrorless cameras. People just look at it and say, how do you guys kill anything with all that stuff you're dragging along? So that does limit us in how far in we can go for a base camp without the llamas we've started using. What's a good brand of field dressing knives? I use Gerber's. The Gerber Big Game Vital, the Gerber Vital, and the Gerber Gator Premium are the three that I go to. It just depends on if I'm hunting elk or hunting deer or what I'm doing, but that's what I'm doing. Oh, have I ever had anything stolen? Knock on wood, so far we've not had anything stolen. I take that back. I had someone steal my ball hitch out of my receiver in New Mexico. That made me mad. I had to drive all the way into Farmington to get the ball hitch. And I go into the auto parts store and I said, man, I can't believe someone stole my ball hitch. And they're like, well, did you leave it in the receiver? I'm like, well, yeah. They're like, well, that's your problem. That's just inviting theft. I don't know. Maybe they're like a currency in that part of New Mexico or something, but that chapped my hide. So John says, Randy, thank you. You have inspired me to become a hunter later in life. Oh, cool. We love hearing that, John. Our goal in all of this is we're just trying to lower the hurdles so that more people will become hunters. And the why of our business plan says to promote self-guided public land hunting and create advocates for that cause. That's been our why for 10 years, and I don't see it ever changing. So when someone like John says, hey, thanks to you, I've become a hunter, that is as cool as it gets for us. That's better than anything anyone could tell us. Isaac asks, what are your pins set at on your bow? I have a 4-pin sight, 20, 30, 40, 50. My black gold sight, I could get it with more pins, but when you get old and your eyes aren't that great, you don't need many more pins than that. And we're getting ready. And when do you think that Utah deer hunt will be ready, Marcus?
Whenever you tell me it's good to go.
Okay, Marcus says whenever I tell him it's good to go. You're gonna see. There's no excuse. There's just no excuse for the mess I made. I just right over the top of them. I wish I could come up with some excuse. Christopher asks, when more season 6 on Prime? Yeah, we just loaded an episode this week, or got one approved this week. So hopefully they'll approve more of them. We got lots of them there ready to go. So, oh my goodness, how many more are we gonna do, guys?
It's up to you.
Oh, Marcus says it's up to me. What's the biggest mistake I've made when elk hunting? We have this, so this is a YouTube segment that we're going to do for Nosler. Cheryl at Nosler said, will you do your 5 biggest elk hunting mistakes? And I said, yeah. She wanted me to do a blog. I said, it'd be better. I ought to do YouTube videos on them, because the odds are we have footage of me actually making that mistake along the way. But I would say just about all the time, the biggest mistake has something to do with the wind and scent. Just about every time. Probably my second biggest mistake would be at times giving up on a spot too early. And I know some of you who are watching the live hunt that we have out on YouTube right now that's going on with Jerry Pritchard, you're going to see how hard we hunt the same spot. You're going to say, really? That's giving up too early? So I think I would say it has to do with wind. No doubt. Someone asked, do I hunt in grizzly country? You bet. I live in grizzly country. I don't have much choice. Some people have some amazing comments here. Josh, what are your thoughts on shoulder seasons in central Montana? I've said this before, I hate them. We hunt elk already from early September for 6 weeks of archery, 5 weeks of rifle. You know what? If we can't take care of elk numbers in that 11 weeks, we shouldn't be hammering them the month before or the 2 months after. That's purely opinion. So thankfully you asked, what is my opinion? Or my thoughts. That's my thoughts on it. All right. I think, let's see. Someone asked that. We already answered that. Give me your best last question, Marcus. You got one? Oh, does bear taste good? Yeah, it does. I prefer fall bear over spring bear any day. But bear tastes good. What is the best game you have ever eaten? How was it prepared? I would say until Hank Shaw cooked antelope jackrabbit, and I know some of you are thinking I've lost my mind. I did not know that antelope jackrabbit could be as good as Hank Shaw cooked it when I was in Arizona in February. That's on our YouTube channel. Normally I'm an antelope guy, and not far behind that is moose, and not far behind that is elk. But there was something about how Hank did that antelope jackrabbit that I'm still, my mouth just starts aching thinking about it. So, you got a different opinion on that, Marcus? What's the best game? Marcus is an aspiring wild game cook, so I'm interested in what his favorite, the best wild game he's ever eaten, and how did he prepare it?
That's hard. That was pretty good. Hank's was pretty good. The field to table dinner was also pretty good.
Oh yeah, the field to table dinner at the Backcountry Hunter and Angler Rendezvous was amazing. Also, that Tom did that, and he called it dirty grouse, right? No, dirty rice or with grouse cakes.
Yeah.
Whew, boy, I tell you what, that was hard to beat. So, I don't know. That's a hard question. We'll have to think about that for next time. Do we got any last really good one before we leave that we got to tell the world about? Oh, look at this. Mr. Jim Deere joined in. Jim right here just joined in. He is Jackrabbit Jim is what we call him. He also knows how to cook jackrabbits. So, maybe we just need to do a whole jackrabbit series when we're down in Arizona next year, Marcus. I could go for that. In fact, if it's a slow day, I'm going hunting those big jackrabbits. These antelope jackrabbits, they're like 10, 12 pounds, I'd guess. They're huge, and they are unbelievable to eat. So it's, all right. When are you going to get Jim Posowitz on one of your podcasts and talk about his autobiography? We've had him on a podcast one time, but we didn't talk about his autobiography. But Marcus and I went and filmed Jim for what, 2 or 3 hours that day?
Yeah.
So we have Jim's autobiography on film as of sometime in February, I believe. And then someone said that all right. Thomas says, if Coatimundi and jackrabbits can be good, then anything can. No, I'm telling you, even the Coati was good, wasn't it?
Really good.
You need to go and buy Hank Shaw's book. What's the new one? Pheasant, quail, cottontail. All these small game recipes are in there, and get it out on Amazon. Hank Shaw, pheasant, quail, cottontail, and everything that he cooked was unbelievable. It was just amazing, and we're talking about those things: Coatimundi, jackrabbits, your javelina that you and Kara shot. What was that? Pozole Verde. I'm like this bland Scandinavian palate, like anything other than vanilla ice cream is considered a stretch. I thought that javelina was unbelievable. So anyhow, next week we're going to be on, and then the following week I'm going to be on the road. So we got next week. What will next week be? The 9th? Yeah. So anyhow, sorry we had some technology issues to start with, folks. Feel bad about that. But that's how it goes sometimes when you live out here in the hinterlands. But we got it done. And thanks all of you for watching. And many of you asked, and the answer is yes, there is a new episode on Amazon. Go out and watch them. There's a new live hunt going on. It started yesterday out on our YouTube channel. Amazon is Fresh Tracks with Randy Newberg. YouTube is Randy Newberg Hunter. And we really appreciate all the partners that support us and all of you who watch and listen to us. So thanks so much. Have a great evening. We'll see you next week.